there, welcome back to the primary series. Today we are here to talk about the primal movement, the squat pattern. So a very powerful lower body movement, assuming that you are maintaining the function and biomechanics and integrity of the spine as you're going through the movement. It is working quads, glutes, and hamstring, as well as the core and those postural muscles. So we're going to totally break down the squat and what exactly to look for, how to do it properly, and we're going to look actually at 3 different views. We're going to go through a front view, a side view, and a back view. And I'm going to go and touch on what you are looking for at each view to ensure that you are executing your squats with proper form and technique. So if we get started with the front view here, we are looking mainly at the ankle joint and the knee joint. To get set up, you want to make sure that if you were to draw 2 kind of like lines on those hip bones straight down to the ground, that your feet are just outside, hip width apart, and that your toes are turned out a little bit. Here we're making sure, as we're bending at the knee and the hip joint, that our ankles are looking nice and strong, that arch is not collapsing into the floor, maybe we're over rolling in the foot area. Knees are staying nice and open as we go down into that squat. So we're seeing more of, say, like a square and rectangular formation than, let's say, a triangle formation. Now if we move to a side view, things you're looking for is, or reviewing, would be 1, squat depth, your ability to get all the way down and back up comfortably without pain. Or you're looking at the torso angle in relation to the shin angle, as those should always match up. And again, maintaining the integrity of the spine as you're going through a squat dynamic is really ensuring that that core is on and working. So with that same setup of the feet, we're 1, you could evaluate your squat depth. Do you have the ability to go all the way down and all the way back up? Yes or no? And then the other thing is we want to make sure that this angle here of our torso is matching that shin angle, which you can see is happening now. If there's a lot of forward dumping and you feel like you can't control that, another exercise may be more appropriate, and you might actually have to work on, it could be a potential of so many things. It could be a limited range of motion at your ankle, limited range of motion in the hips. Hip area is also very common. Could be a lack of core and postural strength. You would need to get a proper assessment to actually figure out exactly what's going on there. But just making sure that we maintain that tall spine position. If we now move to a back view, we're looking at there is an even distribution of weight between the left and right foot, as an example, and as well as in the pelvis. So we're not seeing any lateral shift, like moving to the left or to the right, and we're not seeing any change in the pelvis. It's looking very balanced as we're going up and down. So if we go to that back view really quickly, again, setting up those feet in that proper position. As I'm going down into the squat, it should look like this area is staying the same. There is no, I'm going to show you lateral shifting would be things like this, where I have a tendency to load one leg more than the other. And then you could also see things, there's a butt wink where there's a little bit transferring weight, and the hips just look like they're kind of doing something funny. So nothing like that. So we're just, again, making sure that we're very nice and balanced in this region as we're going up and down into the movement. And this is important whether you are beginner level, just doing this with body weight. It's also extremely important if you're getting into adding external loads to be watching out for all of those things that we just talked about. Obviously, to make sure, 1, you're doing it correctly, and significantly reducing your risk of injury. So to sum it up in a nutshell, that is the breakdown of the squat mechanics